Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is June 18th, 2025. First off, just to let you know, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up. So if you choose to donate, it should be in the channel description wherever you're listening from, whether it be Rumble, Spotify, or YouTube. It helps the channel. I can buy stuff like notebooks, pens, paper. I do plan on starting, I need to get business cards made, so it could go towards that, you know. So, as far as the update, I worked yesterday. I work later today. My ass got up at 6 a.m. trying to wake up, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't got to go to work till 4 o'clock. No. So I just sat there and tossed and turned for like an hour and went back to bed. I'm like, we are not getting up at 6 a.m. But yesterday, dude, we had the big bosses in there, and then my boss, and she hung out like half the shift. I'm like, I don't know. Not that I do anything wrong, but it always makes me fucking nervous. Because I've worked for a lot of shitty employers who like, where I'm always in trouble for like the stupidest shit, you know, like Beaumont Inn. So it just makes me paranoid. I struggle with paranoia anyways. But yeah, I just worked, came home. My nephew, who's been staying with us, he's gonna stay with us a couple days. He didn't feel too good last night. We got 2 cats, Horace and Lilith, and his allergies were acting up, so I was expecting to come home, play video games with him, because he's got autism, and, you know, you want to hang out with your family members. But his allergies were acting up. He's like, I'm going to bed. He was literally just laying in the dark in the living room. I'm like, poor boy. So I ended up playing Zelda. I did a little rescue mission. I saved a little kid from a labyrinth, playing Zelda 2, and got the upward thrust sword technique, got the reflect spell, did some grinding, and then this morning played some more Zelda 2. I beat one of the palaces, but I have to go back and get the Pegasus boots, because I keep doing this. I keep beating the last boss of the palace without getting the item, so I have to go back and get the item. So that way the palace crumbles when you leave. But I'm really enjoying it, man. I'm loving it. And there will be a game review on it whenever I am finished. Go check out, if you like Zelda, go check out the Zelda playlist in general. There's 2 game reviews on there, and then there's an episode of talking about the new Zelda movie. They're trying to make Princess Zelda trans. Of course. So go check that playlist out if you're interested in that. But let's get on with the show, and yeah. So this is a little bit of older news, and you'll have to excuse the sound, you know, as you can see. But this story is so fucking insane, I had to share it. And it is conspiratorial, and it's basically with what has been going on with the whole P. Diddy trial and shit. I love it too, because as conspiracy theorists, we're always talking about how much these elites are creeps and shit, and chomos, and, you know, just evil, degenerate people. And that's all we ever talk about usually, like whether it be QAnon, Pizzagates, you know, it's a big subject matter. And then we finally get what we want of, like, for one, an arrest of one of these elites, and 2, all of this crazy info that's coming out with the P. Diddy trial. And I find it just really weird that it's like we as conspiracy theorists, we're finally getting what we want, like an arrest of one of these elites and all these stories coming out. Like, this is like a conspiracy goldmine, and all these conspiracy channels going, it's a distraction. And I'm not saying they're wrong. It could be a distraction, but they never tell you what are they distracting us from. So, I don't know. I'm going to report on the P. Diddy shit because it's interesting to me. And also, hang on a second. I don't remember what I was going to say. I took CBD a minute ago. Anyway, so, this involves Kid Cudi. I love Kid Cudi, man, so I'm going to gush on Kid Cudi a little bit. This may just be a one-subject podcast, which is fine by me, you know. It's not going to be a compilation. I love Kid Cudi. I didn't really start getting into rap until during my divorce, but with my first wife. I did love Kid Cudi though, and I discovered Kid Cudi. Me and Dina, my ex-wife, were pretty much, go check out an episode. It's called I Was Conned. If you're listening on Spotify, I'll try to link it so you can, check it out. It's a Blue Pill podcast episode, but it was a crazy time period of my life, and I pretty much tell the whole story. We ended up couch surfing, and we ended up staying with her aunt, and I'll never forget, dude, we were borrowing her car because my car was just not working, and it was like a Grand Cherokee, and Dina's cousin was using it too. Like, it was pretty much like the family car, and we were staying there in this trailer, and I remember he had the bass cranked all the way up and the treble all the way up, and I remember he had Kid Cudi's second album, the second album of the Man on the Moon trilogy. And dude, it blew my fucking mind. Because I had always thought rap was dumb, rap was stupid, until I heard Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon 2. And it's still, I would say it's my favorite Kid Cudi album. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, the lyrics, it wasn't all about money and bitches and hoes and shooting people. It was like deep lyrics. It sounded amazing with like the audio cuts, and just like, it just sounded like you were in a spaceship listening to it. It's an amazing fucking album. Pretty much every album he's put out is amazing. So I fell in love with Kid Cudi then, man. So Kid Cudi went on stand during the P. Diddy trial, and his Porsche was caught on fire. By the way, dude, 50 Cent put out a tweet. He took it down, but you could still find people who reported on it and like recorded it, or like got to see it. He put out an AI generated, it's kind of like a Happy Days, or not Happy Days, but what's the one with Steve Urkel? I can't remember the show, but Family Matters, I think. And he put out, it was like a spoof of P. Diddy and Family Matters, like Justin Bieber's Steve Urkel. It's fucking hilarious, dude. You gotta check it out. But in the AI generated like commercial, it had Kid Cudi, and behind him was a Porsche on fire. It's just fucking hilarious. But so Kid Cudi's Porsche was caught on fire. While Kid Cudi was on the stand, he literally referred to P. Diddy as a Marvel supervillain. So on December 2011 at 5 a.m., Cassie Ventura, I believe her last name is, she was secretly dating Kid Cudi. So apparently she was with P. Diddy. It was an abusive relationship, as you could see by his behavior with that video that CNN deleted. CNN is so fucking evil and corrupt. It is like the worst news network like on the face of the earth. It's worse than tabloids. Because at least with tabloids, it's CIA ran, and they actually do slip in some real conspiracies in there. Yeah, I mean, I remember the footage. I've seen the footage. It's ingrained in my mind of him beating the fuck out of a woman and kicking dog shit out of her in a hotel room, you know. So, yeah, P. Diddy's an abusive motherfucker. So, I have an opinion on that, of the whole white knight shit. Go check out an episode of Me Too. It's called Me Too. It's a Blue Pill podcast episode. And if you're on YouTube, I have a whole playlist that you can check out the Blue Pill podcast episodes under Blue Pill Podcast. So I don't have a problem if someone's a cheater, if they're leaving an abusive relationship and getting into a stable, loving, caring relationship, a healthy relationship. Normally I'm against cheating, but that's one of the very few times that I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that, you know? So she was cheating on P. Diddy with Kid Cudi. So Cassie says that Diddy found out and was coming to get her. So he basically called her and said, hey, you need to get to the hotel. So Kid Cudi is called. Him and Cassie are riding around in his car, and Kid Cudi is called by one of Kid Cudi's assistants. And basically the assistant says, hey, P. Diddy broke into your house, so yeah, he's in here, he's acting crazy, he broke into your house, it's getting fucking nuts. So then he hangs up with that, and he's like, what the fuck do I do? He gets another call back from the house phone. It's P. Diddy on the other line. So Cudi's like, hey, hello, who's this? What's going on? And he gets this creepy ass fucking voice on the other line, which is P. Diddy's voice, saying, I am here waiting for you. So P. Diddy wants him to come back to the house so he can confront him about him dating his girl, Cassie Ventura. So he hangs up. While P. Diddy is in the house, listen to how fucking insane this dude is. Kid Cudi apparently has kids. Kid Cudi has kids. Sorry, that's funny. Look, I love Kid Cudi. He's one of the few fucking Hollywood people I love. Like Kid Cudi, Keanu Reeves, Johnny Depp. There's like very few Hollywood people who I'm like, I love this dude. He seems cool as fuck. I want to meet him, you know. Not that they're my idols or heroes or nothing like that. So, apparently Kid Cudi has kids, and I don't care. Like I said, I respect Kid Cudi, and I like this dude, so I don't really dig around in his life, and it's like, does he have kids? You know, I'm not over here like a creep on his Facebook, like, oh, I want to see pictures of his kids. Is he married? Like, I could care less. I just like his music. So it was around Christmas time, because it was December 2011. P. Diddy looks at underneath the Christmas tree. P. Diddy is literally the fucking Grinch, bro. And he starts unwrapping Kid Cudi's kids' Christmas presents. And unwraps them all, and takes all the toys out and presents out, and just basically leaves it out for the kids to find. Luckily, the kids weren't there, by the way, during all this. So this guy is literally the fucking Grinch, man. And it's not funny, but you gotta admit, it's so crazy. This sounds like a fucking comedy movie, man. Of like Fuck you, dude. I'm gonna unwrap your kids' presents and spoil Christmas. Then, apparently Kid Cudi has a dog. I'm not sure what type of dog it is, because if it was a big-ass dog, it should have fucked Diddy up. But, maybe it was just like a little poochie or something, you know. So then P. Diddy locks the dog in the bathroom. So this poor dog is like terrorized. Like, there's this crazy, scary black man in my house, who's like tearing open Christmas presents, you know, freaking out the assistant, calling, you know, my master and acting crazy on the phone. And now he's locking me in this room all alone. So the poor doggy. Cassie Ventura, though, let's see, break up with Cassie. So, this is something interesting. And by the way, I heard this entire story from a channel, I believe it's called The Bullpen. I think it's a podcast. I just found it, so forgive me. I think it's a podcast that's run by an ex-mafia member who did time. I think his name was Sammy the Bull. I'm not sure. You can hit me up in the comments, but I want to give a proper shout out. I was listening to him retell this whole story and talk about it and shit. So, Kid Cudi went through a weird phase. If you're a fan of Cudi, you remember this shit. And I ain't gonna lie, it pissed me off, dude. So, apparently, P. Diddy told him to break up with Cassie, and he did, or whatever. And he told him, look, after he caught his Porsche on fire, that was pretty much the warning of like, hey, I'll kill you and your kids. So I want you to break up with Cassie, and I also want you to start wearing dresses at public events. That's the only way that you're allowed to make music anymore. Basically, like, I want to turn you into my bitch. You're going to be my bitch, or else you get killed. So, and Kid Cudi said this is the reason why he went through that weird period where he was wearing dresses all the time. And I even thought that was crazy. I was like, dude, like, I know Kid Cudi. I feel like I know Kid Cudi because I've listened to his music and interviews and shit. Which, like I said, who knows? He could be a crazy person. Who knows? Or evil or Illuminati, you know. But I like Kid Cudi. And I was like, dude, this is weird. Like, Kid Cudi has always been, to me, what seemed like a classic liberal. Kind of like myself. Like, not conservative, not super progressive, you know. Just a classic fucking old school 90s liberal is what he seemed like to me. So it kind of disappointed me, and I was like, man, like, Kid Cudi's gone woke, dude. This is gay. And now that I know that it was P. Diddy making him do that and threatening his life, I'm like, in a way, I'm like Kid Cudi's still cool. But at the same time, it fucking bums me out, dude. Just the thought of someone having that much power that they're controlling your life and like making you cross-dress in public. Can you imagine someone doing that to you, like having that much power of being like, hey, I will murder you, and you actually having that fear, and them being like, from now on, every time you go to Walmart or your job or out in public in general, you have to wear lipstick and a wig and a dress. You have to cross-dress. Like, that would just fucking suck. It would make you not want to go out, like, ever, you know? It's just, I don't know, it just bummed me out, dude. It just made me sad just hearing that shit. But, let's see. So this is crazy, and this is all alleged, you know? Apparently, after the break-in, Cudi, of course, after the Porsche fire, Cudi, of course, called the cops and was like, hey, dude, this dude, I know it's P. Diddy, he keeps calling me, and they're like, well, we need evidence. And he's like, okay, come on down here and lift prints off the front door. So apparently they lifted P. Diddy's prints off the front door. Mysteriously, during this trial, the prints are gone. Nowhere to be found. Prints are fucking gone. Interesting. And the police said that during the incident when P. Diddy broke into the house and was the Grinch who stole Christmas, apparently the police that were patrolling the area did see a black Escalade leaving Kid Cudi's house after the time that the break-in happened, and they ran the plates, and it was P. Diddy's plates. So, I don't know about you, but this story sounds legit. Let me know what you guys think about that story, dude. I had to fucking report on it. I'm like, this is so fucking insane. One more thing, too, about the P. Diddy case that is crazy. Here recently, I heard a couple weeks ago that Prince, apparently, I don't know if this was a private conversation that was recorded or an actual interview, but Prince, before his death, okay, so this happened during the Diddy fucking trial. This is another fucking dude who, I'm not saying they're like my hero. Well, I ain't gonna lie, dude. Prince, I would say, I kind of consider him a hero. Prince, to me, I always got good vibes from. Like, he was a cool dude, you know. That's just me. That's my intuition. Hey, my intuition could be wrong. But, I did tarot today, so let's see how accurate, you know, it is. But, apparently he had a conversation with someone and it was recorded. I don't know if it was an interview, I don't know if it was private, but in the courtroom, someone was like, hey, I have a tape that I want to play. It's Prince. And everyone in the courtroom's like, wait, what? Prince is dead, you know? And they're like, it's Prince talking about P. Diddy. And the judge is like, holy shit. And they said when the audio started and he heard Prince's voice, that P. Diddy's jaw literally dropped. He was like, holy shit. Like, Prince from beyond the grave is testifying against me. So, Prince was telling this person, and being recorded, about he went to one P. Diddy party. And this is, by the way, this is why I tell people, like, just because somebody is on a list or hung out with somebody like once or twice doesn't mean they're fucking automatically Illuminati, evil, chomo, you know. Doesn't automatically fucking mean that, dude. I've hung out with people who were shady as fuck and didn't know until later, you know. Shit happens. So Prince was invited to a Diddy party, and he went to one fucking party. And he said basically that it was one of the most vile, disgusting things that he had ever been to. And he brought it up to P. Diddy and was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, and this is coming from Prince, who is a freak in the sheets. Like, if you know anything about Prince, he's a fucking pussy hound. He's a freak. But even he was like, because Prince, yeah, he might be a freak, but like, I'm a freak, but I'm not into like bestiality or chomo shit. You know what I mean? I draw the line in the sand somewhere. And even he, so if it was grossing Prince out and he was like, dude, this is dark, this is darkness, this is evil, that tells you how fucking bad these parties were. If Prince, the sex symbol that he is like, bruh, not cool. And apparently he had talked to Diddy, and Diddy got smart and threatened him, and he's like, I'll make it to where you could never work in this business again. Imagine, that either shows you how much power Diddy has, or it shows you how stupid he is that he thinks he's bigger than Prince. Like, Prince is literally a symbol, you know? Prince is, dude, don't get me started on Prince. But Prince was just like, man, fuck this dude, and left, and never went back to another Diddy party again, and pretty much told his story. I thought that was so insane, though, that Prince from the grave, like, testified against P. Diddy. So I don't know, man. I just wanted to tell you guys all the shit that I've been hearing about the P. Diddy case, because I have been keeping up. It's not my main priority. It's not the main conspiracy that I'm into right now. You guys know me, I'm kind of into every conspiracy. Like, if something catches my attention, I'm going to talk about it. But I had to tell that fucking Kid Cudi case, man. And the Prince story. That shit's just fucking crazy. We got 5 minutes, so let's get into one little conspiracy and then we'll call it wraps. So this is one that I came across, and I have 2 experiments I'm going to do. First of all, I seen a video the other day of some weird shit with fruit roll-ups that if you hold it up to a TV screen and you're in the dark, so pretty much any form of light, that it's got all these little spots in it. And people are thinking it's either mold, bacteria, or what is it? I personally think it could be just like flavor pockets, like sugar pockets maybe. Because I have eaten fruit roll-ups and felt like a gritty sandiness to it. So I think that's what those packets are. That's just playing devil's advocate. But the reason why I bring that up is I want to do that, and I want to do another experiment on pretty much desserts that we are consuming. So, and I want to make a whole episode out of it, a fruit roll-up / ice cream episode of like, what the fuck are we eating? So, I seen 2 different experiments with this happening. I seen one where somebody used a generic, it was either Walmart or Kroger, generic ice cream sandwiches not melting, and them leaving it out all night and it doesn't melt. And then I also seen somebody using specifically Nestle ice cream doesn't melt either. And I don't know about you, I'm a 90s kid, but I remember ice cream fucking melting into a puddle. And I seen also another video of somebody who had a plate and specifically, I don't know if they did it on purpose or accident, but left an ice cream in a storage unit for like 6 weeks or something like that. Came back and it was not melted. So, first of all, who owns Nestle, by the way? We did a whole episode on Klaus Schwab stepping down. Do you remember the guy who literally looks like a James Bond villain? Well, they all kind of are. Klaus is like literally Darth Vader. Dresses like him too. The guy with the fucked up eyeball. And we talked about Vril and the Black Eyed Club and Klaus Schwab stepping down and who's taking his place for the World Economic Forum. The same guy who owns Nestle. So does it surprise you that our Nestle ice cream is not melting, that it's not real ice cream? And this is the same guy who, by the way, first of all, Nestle too, he was the owner of Nestle. Nestle too, we talked about it a shit ton on this channel of Cinnamix, and for some reason, Cinnamix is one of these conspiracies that barely anyone knows about, and I scream at the rooftops about, and for some reason, people don't realize that we've been eating Soylent Green as people for years. You know, you've been eating dead babies. Get over it. But Nestle is one of these people who love Cinnamix. They put it in everything. So, does it really surprise you that your ice cream doesn't melt and it's a Nestle product? It's the same guy who is going to run the World Economic Forum because Klaus just stepping down. Go check that episode out. It's a good one. It tells you why he's stepping down. Turns out the guy's crooked. Imagine that. I thought he was a stand-up fella, you know. And yeah, it blows my mind that people are like, Nestle ice cream is not real ice cream? Yeah, it's got dead babies in it too, and the guy who owns it is in charge of the World Economic Forum. Sleep tight. Give it to your kids. Have a good night. Y'all have a good day.